What would you do if you were married to someone of the opposite political party and they decided to run for office? In January, I read How to Sleep at Night by Elizabeth Harris, which was one of the books that I was most excited for 2025. I met Elizabeth Harris in person at an event and I told her how excited I was for her book because the characters in this book are queer. Yes, there is a gay Republican who is running for Congress in suburban New Jersey. His husband is a leftist and shit gets messy. This book is an exploration of marriage and the politics of marriage, but also a look at what it means to wake up in a life different than the one you thought you were living, right? One of the characters, the main character, Gabe, is married to this gay Republican who then decides to run for Congress. All of his life is now opened up to the public, right? There are people prying into every single thing he's ever said online. His sister in law is a reporter who's working on the political beat. She hates her job. The other main character of this book is a stay at home mom who's somehow floating through life, confused as to how she ended up being a stay at home mom, right? She had this great career that she gave up, and then she kept meaning to go back to work, and she never did. And now she's sort of resenting the decisions she's made to end up where she is. I really appreciated that this book didn't take a am I the asshole view of the situation? Because obviously, with everything going on in the current political climate, it would be very easy to say, oh, just leave him, right? But when you are married to someone for 15 years, when you have kids, when you have a mortgage, it's not necessarily as easy as it is on the internet to be like, screw this person, you never have to speak to them again, right? I think that was one of the most interesting things about the book, where it's set in this very, very specific time, in this very, very specific moment in a marriage, right? They are locked in. They're the most locked in you can be. But they still have to navigate these choices together. They still have to navigate this exposure that the choice that Ethan has made is bringing into their lives. If you're interested in the book, I also did an author interview with Elizabeth Harris on my Substack, telebs.substack.com. We talked about politics, marriage, family, and queerness. We talked about the Bushwick kids saying that there's only one way to be queer, and if you want to have kids as a gay person, then you're not actually living a queer lifestyle. We talked about a lot of really, really cool and interesting things, and there are no spoilers if you want to read the book after. And as I always say, this is not an ad. I met Elizabeth Harris at a party. I thought she was cool. She sent me her book, and the rest is history. I really, really enjoyed this conversation and I really enjoyed the book. I thought it was a really well done look at what it means to be in a family. I read a lot of divorce books and I was very intrigued by this being a very specific kind of marriage book. There's also really good writing about what it means to be a parent, what it means to have a kid, and also for my stay at home moms, this admitting that sometimes it is a little bit boring. You love your kid more than anything, but every single day is kind of monotonous. And I think that's something that's really, really hard for people to admit. Let me know if any of you have read the book and go check out the interview.